I will say this about Jeremy Corbyn. He hasn't changed what he's like from before to now, before the election and now. But what is interesting is that he's coming up with the same standard operational B apostrophe S, whatever, as all politicians always do. And in the papers today is let it be known that his speech this afternoon is going to signal a new kind of politics. Guess what? It's going to be kind politics.
He says, give my beloved Britain a kinder politics.
Well,
that's what he wants to do.
At that because that's
is there such a thing?
Well, I had a good laugh because I thought, have you ever heard of a politician standing up and saying, do you know what? I'm going to give you horrible politics. Or, do you know what? I'm going to stand up and I'm going to give you unkind politics. And it's as dumb as, like, if Colleen or Jamila or you were dying of hunger and thirst and I came up with a glass of water and said, do you want it? You go, yeah, of course, I'll
vote for you.
And that's what kind politics are like, because nobody's going to turn around and say, well, that's a really bad idea, Jeremy. But politics can't just be kind. I mean, David Cameron came up with the big society, didn't he? It's something all politicians aspire to do is make you feel you're in the club.
But then, Jamila, do you not think a lot of people are saying that younger people have been more engaged by him, whether you actually even agree with all his policies or not, that he's been very refreshing because he isn't stuffy, buttoned up.
Well,
he's talking about, let's all discuss this. Let's have your opinion too.
But and this is the thing. I think he's definitely very relatable. He seems relaxed. He definitely seems like somebody that you might have something in common with, and I do feel that that is something that's important to engage, particularly younger people, because there is such a huge void between myself and other politicians, and you just feel like, well, you're not talking to me, are you?
Yeah.
Whereas with him, you're kind of more
and
intrigued.
He talks about listening a lot. You know, a lot of politicians talk. He talks about listening. Do you think listening is something that people are noticing him for?
Tony Blair, a decade ago, talking about the big tent and we're going to be inclusive and we're all going to be in the tent. This is no different. It's just packaged a little bit different. He's got worse clothes sense.
Is it not still...
When they look from left to right, he scores -80.
Yeah, but even so, is it not still necessary? Because at the time when Tony Blair was about, some of the people that are interested now were in nappies. So it is important for it to be...
Well, keep restating the same thing, that politics is inclusive. I mean,
they've had 60,000 new members very recently join the Labour Party, and they're saying a lot of those are younger people. So he's definitely getting people engaged, and they've often said young people aren't engaged in politics. So it's interesting. Also, obviously, you know, his speech is going to be under scrutiny. His style will be under scrutiny, and it's always the wives of politicians. Jeremy Corbyn's wife, Laura Alvarez, is not going on the stage. They are completely scrutinised, and it's not even their job. You say, you know, but there's already people saying, oh, well, she should be there. You know, she should be there supporting her husband and kissing his cheek and clapping.
We are very used, as a society, we're very used to seeing our politicians supported by their adoring wives, and I do find it interesting. I'm wondering, is it a statement, you know, for herself to say, I'm not that kind of woman,
well,
you know, I've got my own thing going on.
Nick Clegg's wife, Miriam, did exactly the same thing.
But a lot of people tutted. Would you think
or
they should be there?
Or is it a statement, Ruth, of her saying, I am not going on that stage with you dressed like that?
I wouldn't go on the stage if he was in those plastics.
Well, I've heard Hugh Lehman having a go about it.
Well, you've got to remember, we're voting for a man, not the person he's married to.
Yeah, but they always come under... People do kind of look at their wives, look at all that up into the election. They're all in their kitchens cooking together.
Yes, let's wait and see if Mrs Corbyn goes down that route, because they've all said they're not going to do it, and they all buckle under. Miriam was in the kitchen by the end, wasn't she?
Miriam was in the kitchen.
Mind you, didn't win him any votes, but there we go.
We didn't like his kitchen light.
The witch hunt had already begun, and I could see what was happening to other people. I was U-Tree 15, so some of the other cases were already in action. And I could see that there was a range of a minority of genuine offenders